Fantasy basketball managers, if you have Joel Embiid on your team, this episode is for you. So the trade deadline is coming. Joel Embiid is banged up. We have a whole bunch of things to cover, so we're doing a special episode. I don't typically film podcast episodes on the move. I'm always in my studio. I don't even remember taking a vacation and filming a show or recording a show while I was on vacation. I just don't produce. But this is an insane week. And also, I'm seeing that people are starting to download and follow the podcast, the audio podcast. So in order for me to get more audio content out, I want to see if we can drop a couple episodes. The only way to do that is if I film like this. So if you guys are listening or watching, please comment and let me know about your experience. We believe every NBA fan that plays fantasy football should also play fantasy basketball. It's playoff time, and the usual suspects are heading to Vegas for the championship. And our partner, BetOnline, is your number one source for football odds, stats, trends, and lines. With everything from point spreads to hundreds of bets on everything from the coin toss to the color of the Gatorade. BetOnline is your number one source for championship wagering. Head to BetOnline and join today to get into all the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So the first thing we're going to start with is what I'm getting so many comments about. Literally, my inbox is blowing up, whether it's on Discord, TikTok comments, YouTube comments, people pulling up to the live stream. Everyone wants to know, at least people who have him on the team, what to do with Joel Embiid. First thing I have to do is apologize for what you're going through. Sorry. Now, I'm in your boat because I honestly have, I have a little bit of Joel Embiid stock. One of my leagues, actually, our Discord league, I'm in there with a bunch of our most active participants in the group and in the community. Big shout out Dave Vega. We got my man Brett is in there. Just a bunch of our active community members. And I have Giannis and I have Embiid. And here I am with just Giannis. So it does suck. But I want to make sure I provide some value so you can make good decisions over the next couple of weeks. So the first thing I want to know is that Woj sent a tweet out recently, today I think, at the time of filming this, that Embiid had a procedure on Tuesday. So he has already went under the knife. He's had his procedure. Now, the word repair has been getting floated around. So I've been doing a lot of research, watching some channels that do, sports medicine content. So doctors talking about sports injuries. And basically, when we talk about the meniscus, when we say repair, essentially it means it's going to be a long recovery. That means he's out for the season. Now, the other option for Joel is what we call a meniscus trim or removal of the damaged meniscus, and that he can come back faster from. So that's the thing that you want to be mindful of, is that he had a procedure and the Sixers are being a little cryptic about it. They're not like, hey, this is what he had. They're just saying he had a procedure. So according to Woj, that after the procedure, Joel is going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So all signs point to, according to these doctors on the internet, is that he had the meniscus cut out and trimmed. He did not opt for the long repair, but this can be a short turnaround on his return. So what does that mean for you, though? What does that mean for fantasy basketball? Many people are dropping Joel Embiid, right? If someone dropped Joel Embiid in your league, just grab him to be safe. Just grab him. That's the first thing. If you're in a league where people are panicking and they dropped him, especially if you have an IR spot or if you have expendable assets that you're okay with moving on from, grab Joel Embiid. Do not let him sit on any waiver wire, any free agency pool right now. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you have Joel Embiid, you need to hold tight. You need to be patient, and you need to wait for more news. Your instinct is going to be like, let me drop him because he had a knee surgery. Chances are he won't be back for my fantasy playoffs. At this point in the game, you don't know. You just don't know. So to be safe, the last thing you will want to do is be one of those players that drop Joel Embiid. Your league may grab them, and then you got to face Joel Embiid in the daggone fantasy playoffs. Where they do that at, right? So I would be very careful about that. Hold on to Joel Embiid. And the last option is, if you're in a messed up position, like you don't really have, you have a bad record and you're at risk of maybe not making the fantasy playoffs, then I would sell low. I would consider selling low. Like, see if you could salvage having him, because that would be definitely a risk. Because if he comes back, then you're going to be like, man, I don't believe I traded him for PJ Washington or whatever deal you decide on. But if he doesn't come back, at least you salvage the deal. I try to think about it like when someone has an expiring contract in the NBA, typically teams will try to look to see if they could trade them away so they don't lose them for anything, right? Or lose them for nothing. So that's what I would take a look at and just, see if you can make some kind of a deal. So those would be the three options. Pick him up. Three options would be pick him up if he's available. Two would be hold him if you have him. And three, if you're really struggling, then you might have to sell low. The next thing I want to talk about is the trade deadline. So for the trade deadline, there's a bunch of rumors, right? So I'm going to just run through some of these rumors, and I'll talk about some of the sources that I got them from. So this one is from Bleacher Report, and this is actually widely popular and reported that Andre Drummond has a lot of interest right now. So people are looking at him. The Lakers are looking at him, the Celtics, the Suns, and the Mavs. So he could be a good stash. Andre Drummond can be a good fantasy stash. And speaking of stashes and using waiver acquisitions, at this time of the year when we going into the trade deadline, I didn't mention it on our weekly show, you don't want to burn your waiver wire acquisitions. You don't want to burn those ads. Hold them until after the trade deadline or during the trade deadline so you can pick up players if things are happening and changing. So the last thing you will want is dramatic things happen and you don't have any ability to add players. So that's just a tip for you. So I would think about stashing Drummond. Number two, this one is from Bleacher Report as well. They say the Bucks are looking to possibly move Bobby Portis for Grant Williams from the Mavs. Then Clutch Points reports that the Golden State Warriors are open to trading on Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul. Chris Paul is on an expiring contract, so they're thinking about moving him, and Wiggins is having career lows in just about every single statistical category. This one is from Bleacher Report. The 76ers are targeting Kyle Lowry. This one is also from Bleacher Report. The Knicks are interested in PJ Washington from the Hornets. This one is from Hoops Hype. The Nets are interested in DeJounte Murray. They're trying to create a package that would include Spencer Dinwiddie and a protected first-round pick. This one is also from Hoops Hype. DeMar DeRozan is going to be a free agent coming this summer, so they're going to lose out for him if they don't come up with a contract for him or if they don't move him. So they don't want to lose him for nothing. So they're going to try to see if they can maybe make a package or they're going to have to create some kind of contract extension for him. Killian Hayes is reported that Memphis is interested in him, and that's also from Hoops Hype. And then Minnesota is interested in Tyus Jones, and Washington is interested in moving Kyle Kuzma. Both of those are also from Hoops Hype. I'm really excited about creating content like this in the vehicle to see if I can pump out more for you, but I won't do it unless you guys are getting value. So if you feel like this episode brought you some value, do me a big favor, drop a comment and let me know. And then also, if you have ideas for what we can do in the car, or what kind of content I can create in the car, then let me know and I'll come up with some cool video ideas with your input, and we'll do it like that. I'm super excited about seeing what we do next. Can't wait to connect with you. Talk to you soon.